Hey everybody, this is Melissa 104 Action Figure Collector on a budget. Have not made a video in quite a while. Honestly, just didn't really have anything to talk about. But today I'm going to start talking about Mass Effect. Potentially, I guess it's Mass Effect either 4 or 5. The new video game that BioWare is working on. And I was just putting this out here because I am excited about the potential for this new game. I'm a major Mass Effect fan. Uh, I've played Mass Effect. Oh my God, Mass Effect trilogy, and now Mass Effect Legendary. Oh my God, I can't even count the amount of times that I played it. I'm getting ready to start up a new playthrough, which hopefully I'll be able to play all the way from 1 through 3. I'm not anticipating the release of the next Mass Effect until maybe at the earliest, maybe 2024, but 2020, well, I'll be honest, probably not until 2025. They're working, BioWare that is working on the release of the next Dragon Age, and they haven't released that yet. They also haven't really given us a lot of information about that, and that is actually coming out before the next Mass Effect is coming out. So they haven't even started like the advertising campaign for that. So and recently, or last November 7th, we got I think the very first teaser was in 2021, where we had Liara and was in that teaser, and we saw the Milky Way, and we saw Andromeda galaxy as well, and then we saw Liara with a new ship, and I don't know who the new squad mates are. And that was back in 2021. It is now 2023, and the latest thing that we got, which was maybe a couple of months ago, is that BioWare developers have been moved. That was about a month ago, actually. The BioWare, all of the BioWare developers that were working on Mass Effect, the new Mass Effect project, have been moved over to Dragon Age to help tighten that up and get that ready for release. And that there's only like a core crew or core people that are actually working on the Mass Effect, the new game that's coming out. I know Mike Gamble. He's like the head of he's working on it. Hopefully the new writer that they obtain, Marlene, I believe is her name. She also worked on Deus Ex and the new Guardians video game. So hopefully, but what we found out within like maybe a month or two ago is that Mass Effect, the new game, is still in pre-production. So, it takes a minute to make a Mass Effect or any kind of substantial major AAA game, video game. So, they've actually, from what I can gather, listening to all the YouTubers, Mr. Holton, Bon Diesel, I believe that they've been working on pre-production since 2019, and it is 2023, and they're still in pre-production, which honestly, since they're working on another AAA, major game, which is Dragon Age, for them to still be in pre-production with Mass Effect is not unusual, I don't think. And then you have to take into consideration that one of their gaming, I don't know what you call it, gaming hubs or bases, I guess. One of their gaming bases was shut down. So, being a Mass Effect fan, Dragon Age, I've played it. I'm not really a major fan of that. Um, but being a Mass Effect fan, I was a little disappointed to learn that they were still in pre-production. I was hoping they were like in full swing of actually developing the game. So pre-production, they're still coming up with concepts and stuff like that. But on N7 Day, we did get and going back, wait a minute, going back to the original teaser that we got with Liara in there. One thing that Mike Gamble said was that everything that's in that teaser was done purposefully. So that's interesting. So that means, of course, we're going to be combing through that, trying to get out, which we have done. Trying to get as much as we can. I hear the jet flying over my head. I hope that doesn't drown me out. I live near base. So on N7 Day, though, we got another teaser, which appears to be a relay of some sort. Um, and Liara talking, and a ship flying towards the relay. I'm sure if you're a Mass Effect fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You probably looked at this thing over and over again. And Liara says something to the effect of, how did we miss this? And something about humans being, I guess we don't listen. We're always doing stuff we shouldn't. Um, but so I'm assuming that that Mass Effect relay, or I think it's a ship, but I think it's a Mass Effect. I think it's a ship with a relay built in it. But Liara isn't too happy about it. So that's one thing we got. We also got some concept art with we had got a concept art of a crater. I think that came earlier. A crater that's shaped like a Geth head. And in the teaser that we got on N7 Day, you hear what sounds like a Geth talking, or Liara talking to a Geth and the Geth talking back. I'm not convinced that that Geth like voice is actually a Geth, because, like, in order to hear what Liara was saying, we had to um we had to decode her voice and to figure out what she was saying. So I'm not sure that that Geth is actually a Geth. There's a lot of clues in that little poster, and they did have that poster actually up for sale at BioWare. Um, and interesting enough, the original description under the poster had Shepard helping everybody try to recover from the Reaper invasion. And they quickly took that down and said that was a mistake, and that, the people that run the store are not BioWare, blah, 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 blah. So, of course, that started, which it was already, a lot of theories and stuff. They're wondering if Shepard's coming back. So, if you go back to the poster that was shaped like a Geth head with the little light and everything, it looks like that is supposed to be. Well, no. Go back to the teaser that was with Liara in 20. I think it was 2019. If it looks like maybe Liara and whoever she's with might be on a ship, because you see like a reflection of like a N7 stripe of on a window. And why that's significant is because in Mass Effect 1, when Shepard was getting ready to be called in by his by Anderson, Commander Anderson, I guess. Shepard was standing in inside a ship, looking out a window, probably in deep thought, and you could see the reflection of the N7 from Shepard's stripes. So that brings us to, is Shepard still alive? Because at the end, look. Okay, so this game has been out forever. The new one's been released. So if you don't want a spoiler for Mass Effect 3, don't listen to this until you finish playing that game. So, spoiler alert given. So, for all intents and purposes, it appears that Shepard dies at the, saves the universe, but dies in one way or another, because there's different ways that you can decide to end your playthrough. But if you are an OG, which I'm OG of the Mass Effect franchise, you know there is a after credit scene. If you get enough military points and make all the right decisions in the game, and you have to make the right decisions along with the military points. I have gotten that ending one time, and the rest of the time I couldn't get it. But I've gotten that ending one time, and what that ending is the camera pans slowly up, and you land on N7 armor, and you see like the dog tags hanging off. You can't really read them, I don't think, but you know that Shepard, and Shepard takes a breath, which means Shepard could possibly survive if you do everything correctly. So now we go back to the teaser with Liara in it from 2019. If you go down to the very bottom left, there's like some numbers and different stuff and surveillance and all this kind of stuff on this, like it's like a recording. You get what it looks like is possibly a date, maybe a date for when this new Mass Effect is supposed to be taking place. And if you couple that with the fact that the Mass Effect relay that you see in the teaser is not complete, they're building it, then that honestly, that date is probably about 3 or 4 years out from when the Reaper War happened, which would mean that if Shepard survived, they could possibly be in this game. From everything I can see, from all the information that I've been able to garner from the internet and from other Mass Effect content creators, I think that this game is going to be not hundreds of years, but maybe a few years after the war. So I think it's a possibility that Shepard did survive. Liara survived. That's the big thing in the community now, is especially from all us OG people, we want Shepard back. But only if it's well written and fits. It's a believable premise. And to be honest, I personally don't think that BioWare would fake us out twice. What I mean by that is, like, I also played Andromeda, which we're not going to talk about, but when they were putting up the media advertising the upcoming game of Andromeda, they kept showing us this person in N7 armor, and of course we all thought Shepard, and I know they knew that's what we would think if they put that N7 armor up there, is that we would, because that's Shepard, N7 operative or soldier. yeah, they made we were all, and I for one was disappointed that that was not Shepard. I was really disappointed. Okay, so now going back to the teaser with Leora. Why? Okay, so Leora is, I think, the canon love interest for Shepard, whether you are male or a female. And Leora originally, she recovered Shepard's body because I think the was it the Reapers, the collectors wanted her body or his body, and she recovered Shepard's body. And Cerberus was the one that gave her the information. Cerberus is a pro-human group, basically a terrorist group. Though they don't think so. Um, so she ended up having to give Shepard's body to Cerberus, who inadvertently ended up bringing her back or him back. So, that being said, I do not believe that BioWare would dupe us twice because this is obviously Leora walking up a dead Reaper. So we know it's after the Reaper invasion and everything, I guess, is settled and over now. And she picks up that N7 that's normally located, I think, on the side of the helmet. I believe the N7 is on the helmet. I'm sure it is because I actually have a replica. I have the Mass Effect BioWare Gear Store helmet over there. I think there is no way that they would show that and not have any idea that we would immediately think that Shepard is going to be involved in this, excuse me, this new game somehow. There is no way. And there is no way. I will be livid if they have shown us Leora picking up what I'm pretty sure is Shepard's N7 insignia that's usually on the side of his helmet or her helmet, and having us OGs know that's Leora. She is so dedicated to Shepard. So that we know that scene is about Shepard. And for I will be livid if they do not bring Shepard back now. I don't know how they're going to do it. And yes, I know it's repetitive because Cerberus brought him back one time. But I will be so livid if they do not have Shepard in this game. Uh okay, yeah. Yeah, I that's I think that they will bring Shepard back. I'm not sure in what capacity, but they need to be careful because I don't think anybody who's ever played this trilogy and gone through everything they've gone through to get through, because like with the games, if you don't know and you've not played them, when you play Mass Effect 1, the decisions that you make have weight and meaning. If you decide, if one of your crew members gets killed in Mass Effect 1, they will not they you won't see them in Mass Effect 2. They are dead. They're legitimately dead. Um and it's the same thing for Mass Effect 2. If something happens in Mass Effect 2 where you lose one of your crewmates or several of your crewmates, then they're just gone. I mean, it's like real life. It's like once you're dead, you're dead. You don't get to pop back up or, pick up a loot crate or pick up a health and come back to life. That is not what happens. So, same thing in 3. And so by them giving us this little bit of hope that Shepard actually survived And I know everybody did not romance Liara, which I did. I always romanced her. I never romanced anybody else. Did I not romance anybody else? I think I did romance Samantha, I think, but like only one time. The rest of the time I romanced Liara. So with her picking up Shepard's insignia, there is no way they cannot bring Shepard back. But when they do, like I said, they need to be careful because if they bring Shepard back and he or she is not a playable character, I'm still gonna be pissed. I'm still gonna be pissed. What I'm hoping is that, and I think Mr. Holton said something about this. I'm hoping that maybe at the first quarter of maybe this game, Liara is actually looking for me. Is what I mean. Well, Shepard, but you're Shepard, so basically looking for you. And maybe you get to play as Liara initially until you find Shepard. That's what I'm hoping is going to happen. I hope. Um, I have bought so much stuff from the Bioware gear. I'm a VIP. The latest thing that I bought was this, and I do have it sitting on my desk. So, yes, this game, the Mass Effect 4 or 5, whatever, I don't know what they're going to call it, um, is probably one of my most anticipated games ever. And I'm trying so hard not to have such high expectations. Um, trying not to have the high expectations because like I said, I'm not going to really get into it, but I played Andromeda and it is not even close to the greatness of Mass Effect. It is not even close. I played Anthem. Not close. Not even remotely close. And now they've stopped supporting that server, so I can't even play the game now. They don't have any support for it. And I can tell you how much I paid for that game, but I bought the Steel series. But anyway, I pre-ordered it as well. Now Dragon Age is a good game. It's just not my cup of tea. I've played, I think, Dragon Age 1 and 2, and it was okay. I mean, I played them, but that's just not my cup of tea. Um, so that being said, I'm so excited. I can't lie. I'm trying to calm myself down and not be too overly hyped about Mass Effect coming out with a new game because Andromeda was not it. And I can see the passion that Mike Gamble has for this franchise. Um, and I'm hoping that he's able to guide the rest of the team into making another masterpiece like Mass Effect. Um, my daughters and I were talking about it, and that is definitely one of the best games ever made. That's how good it is. That being said, because of how far graphics and mechanics and engines and everything have come, even though I have the legendary edition, and that's the edition that I'm playing now, It's really hard for me to play Mass Effect 1 because it's so old, and even though they have improved it with the Legendary Edition, it's still yeah, it's still older. I can play 2 and 3 no problem, but Mass Effect 1 is kind of difficult, but I'm going to have to do it. I got to do a new playthrough. Also, I'm excited because this new Mass Effect is going to be Real Engine 5, I believe. I've seen a couple of advertisements up by BioWare. They're hiring people who are familiar with the Real Engine 5. I think the IP that what is it? EA made them use really wasn't very conducive for the RPG type of video game, and they couldn't make it do everything that they wanted to realize in the creation and development of Andromeda or Anthem. So, you know, so I'm pleased to know that they are going to be using Real Engine 5. I played around with some of the Real Engine character development stuff, and it's good. It's better than good. So should that should help them. Also, the tools that you're able to use in Real Engine should, I mean, it's still going to be years before we get the game, but it should help them to be able to cut down. It shouldn't be as time consuming, I guess I should say, because the tools within the Real Engine IP really, um, really allow the designers, level designers, land the level designers, they'll be able to, instead of hand drawing and doing different things, they'll be able to actually use the almost like a AI type thing to produce scenes and landscape and stuff like that without them actually having to go in there with um their actual artist and doing that. I mean, of course, the artists are still going to have to be involved, but after they get a basic structure, the Real Engine should be able to help them to flesh that out much more quickly. Much more quickly, so that's cool. And Bioware also has used Real Engine before, but it was an earlier version. I think it was 3. I think it was Real Engine 3. Might have been Real Engine 2. I don't remember, but I know they have used Real Engine before. There are also, which is very good to know, there are also some of the OGs that are going to be involved, if not in the actual creation process, but consulting, so they can try to get it right. So that's cool. Wow, this has been a long video. I've talked for almost 30 minutes. Okay, so that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. Oh my God, you see my bed? I have my baby Leora stretched out on my bed, and then I have the throw blanket with the whole squad up there. I wish they would have made one with Fem Shep, because I usually play as Fem, or I always play as Fem Shep. But yeah, and up on my wall above my bed, I have a picture of the Normandy. Yeah, yeah. That's just some of the collectibles that I have. Anyway, this is, I just realized that. Anyway, this is Melissa, 104 Action Figure Collector on a Budget Out. You have a great day.